On June 12, 2025, Air India Flight 171 was prepping for a routine 9-hour journey from Ahmedabad to London Gatwick. Sitting on the tarmac was a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, one of the most advanced commercial jets ever built, carrying 230 passengers and 54,000 kilos of fuel. That fuel load pushed the plane's weight to over 200 tons. On a 36-degree afternoon, the physics of takeoff become precarious. Hot air is thin, meaning there's less oxygen for the engines to burn and less lift generated by the wings. To get airborne, the crew needed to utilize every inch of the 3,500-meter runway. The aircraft reaches liftoff speed, and the main gear leaves the pavement, but the climb is shallow. Almost immediately after crossing the airport perimeter wall, the plane begins to lose altitude and bank toward the left, dropping directly toward the dense neighborhood of Megani Nagar. The nose gear clips a brick incinerator chimney and tears away. A second later, the right side of the fuselage slams into a Mughal college canteen, ripping the vertical stabilizer from the tail. As the wings shear off against the surrounding dormitories, the fuel tanks ignite. In under 3 seconds, the aircraft is gone. One of the world's most sophisticated, perfectly functioning passenger jets had been reduced to debris within moments of leaving the ground. In the aftermath, the government released a preliminary crash report. It provides a specific chronological timeline of the flight's final seconds, effectively attempting to close the case on what caused the disaster. To verify that timeline, we built a frame-by-frame 3D reconstruction. By stabilizing shaky CCTV footage of the takeoff and matching it to virtual cameras with the exact same sensor sizes and focal lengths used at the airport, we mapped the flight path with mathematical precision. Because we can pinpoint the plane's position 30 times every second, we can calculate its ground speed and altitude at any given moment. Mapping this data revealed a massive discrepancy. The physical movement of the airplane recorded on camera contradicts the specific timestamps and speed claims found in the official investigation. To understand the fate of Flight 17-1, we have to look past the official paperwork and rely strictly on the laws of physics. The preliminary report claims the plane hit a maximum speed of 180 knots, at which point both engines were switched to the cutoff position. Our reconstruction shows a different reality. At the moment the report says the engines were killed, the speed is indeed 180 knots, but the plane doesn't slow down. It keeps climbing, reaching 196 knots. Inside a jet engine, fuel cutoff causes power to fail instantly. This dotted line shows the physical reality of a cutoff, a sharp loss of forward momentum. A 200-ton aircraft cannot accelerate against gravity for 5 seconds without an active power source. There is no physical mechanism that allows a Boeing 787 to gain speed after both engines have been starved of fuel. The government's timeline is scientifically impossible. The sequence of events described in the report cannot exist in the physical world. The mystery centers on the 2 fuel cutoff switches located between the pilots. On the cockpit voice recorder, a pilot asks, "Why did you turn it off?" This wasn't a computer glitch or a sensor error. A dedicated data line runs directly from the physical switch to the flight recorder. Every second, it checks the mechanical position of that switch. The 787's automated TCMA safety feature doesn't move these switches. It closes a valve deep inside the engine. Because the engines restarted later, we know TCMA was never triggered. Accidental activation is equally unlikely. These switches are protected by a triple safeguard. They must be pinched, lifted against spring pressure, and pulled over mechanical stops. Moving both switches within 1 second by accident is a near impossible feat. We are left with a single deduction. Those switches moved because someone in the cockpit intentionally lifted and pulled them. The destruction of Flight 171 was the result of a deliberate human action taken in the final moments of liftoff. The investigation was hindered from the start by a failure of the safety equipment itself. During a relatively low-speed impact, the tail-mounted flight recorder and the emergency locator beacon, devices specifically designed to survive a crash, were both destroyed. To extract data from the surviving forward recorder, investigators needed a golden chassis, a specialized working unit that allows the damaged memory module to be read. India operates dozens of Boeing 787s, yet the country's Accident Investigation Bureau did not possess this basic piece of equipment. The investigation was stalled for days while the unit was imported from the United States. This creates a startling gap between the sophistication of the aircraft and the capabilities of the agencies tasked with regulating them. Until authorities resolve the mathematical contradictions in their own reports, the investigation remains incomplete, leaving the final question of the cockpit audio without a resolution.